This is a HeadGum podcast.
Hi guys, today's podcast is brought to you by Squarespace and My Undies.
My uncle.
A better way to cook. What's up, Mike?
What's going on, man?
How you doing, baby?
I thought you were doing it. I didn't want to interrupt you. I thought you were doing a thing.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah.
Mike, I got a question for you right off the top of this bat. Mike, please. There's an answer to this question that will make me so happy.
Okay.
But there's an
How close to the one that I'm gonna give
The
is
other answer will make me happy, but not as happy.
It sounds like a win-win for you.
Either way, I'm gonna be happy, so don't worry about upsetting me. Are you ready for this? Have you ever seen the film Nacho Libre?
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll get to it.
And do you like that movie?
The first time I saw it, I fell asleep.
Okay. Honestly, we could use that audio clip after any movie that I talk about. Mike, you ever seen Top Gun? Yeah.
Yeah.
The first time I saw it, I fell asleep. Is that your biography?
It's
That's your
IMDb.
movie review. What do you mean the first time? Have you seen it since?
Yeah, but I don't remember anything about it. I don't remember not liking it.
Dude, Owen and I watched it last night because finally, this is some conquest we've been on for a very long time. We discovered when Nacho Libre had come out that one Mr. Danny Elfman, none other than the composer,
The
Elfman himself, who composed such films as Beetlejuice, Batman Returns, The Nightmare Before Beetlejuice. Owen and I have been wanting to do this for a very long time. So we found out Danny Elfman did a score to Nacho Libre.
Did he really?
Yeah, and it got deleted.
Oh, wow, really?
Yeah, it got deleted. It happens all the time. Excuse me. It happens all the time. Well, half deleted. That's right. There's still some cues in the movie from Danny Elfman.
Do they still have to pay them the same?
I think I figured it out. Every time we're doing the podcast, Owen doesn't know we're doing a podcast.
I think I figured it out. We're the only ones that Owen can see.
That would explain a lot, actually.
What if Owen lived here by himself and all this success and everything we're finding with the podcast is just an illusion?
This sounds like something that I would pitch to Disney.
It sounds like something that you pitched to the people we were hanging out with at Comic-Con when you were just saying random shit and you were like, well, how about this?
At Comic-Con?
Was it Comic-Con? Yeah, we were walking around with those people and they were like
movie
people.
Yeah, the Paramount people.
Yeah. And you were like, you know what else would be good? If it was a magical world and only my head was in it or whatever.
And they were like, what? Let's make it. And only my head's in this magical world.
That wasn't too far off from what you were saying.
I
don't want to give away I didn't sign an NDA,
okay,
so I don't want to give away your shit.
Jack Black stars in a movie where he's a scientist.
But only his head is.
And he's working in his lab late one night. And he's working on a teleportation machine.
Uh-huh.
But he gets stuck in it, and only his head is teleported to a world of tiny people.
Okay.
And
Jack Black is the sun.
And so his head shows up in the middle of town square of this tiny town.
Yeah.
And his head is just this monument that people can't figure out.
Okay.
They think it's the second coming of their god. It's this whole crazy...
It's like in Cloverfield when the Statue of Liberty's head goes rolling down the street.
And there's one funny scene, and you'll see a bit of it in the trailer, when the FBI busts into Jack Black's house because they've been tracking this person who's figured out teleportation. They want to use it for the army. They bust right into Jack Black's house.
Hold on. Please say that one line one more time.
Okay. they bust into Jack Black's house because they want to take the teleportation technology because they want to use it for the army. And so this part's in the trailer, Mike, and you know it is. He's doing a speech to the people of this world he's traveled to, his head has traveled to. And just as that happens, the FBI comes in and tries to arrest him. And they're tearing at his body and trying to cuff him. And he's like, stop it! No! Stop! Ow! Ow! And all the townspeople are like freaking out because he's screaming.
Yeah.
That's
and
in the trailer.
Because they're small.
Yeah. And there's a funny moment when he's sleeping.
There's a
sleeping scene.
The teenagers come every night and piss in his mouth.
Oh, Riggs, I'm sorry.
Oh, when Mike doesn't like it, you don't give a shit.
Well, Mike, if your ears were as good as a dog's ears, then I'd be more concerned.
They were before this podcast started.
Well, I'm sorry I've ruined that for the rest of the world. You could have really helped out.
You've taken my ears from the
Thanks
world.
for sharing that power with the rest of the world, Mike. What'd you use with it?
Sharing
You figured out when the bus was going to stop? Is that what you were using it for?
Hey, guys, I think the bus is going to stop.
You left the subway when your sandwich was being made, and
Yeah.
then you heard them finishing it from down the street, and you came back to get it?
All these things I can't do anymore.
You heard Zoya coming home on the freeway?
Yeah.
And so you stopped masturbating?
I heard Zoya leave work, so I unlocked the door.
Yeah. Well, that's a friendlier one.
It's nice. I turned it around to be nice.
Anyway, Jack, but why did we get to just his head? Because Mike, fuck, why did we get to just his head?
I honestly don't remember.
Fuck. Oh, well. Anyway,
Steve, do you think I'm mean?
So here's the thing. No, I don't think you're mean.
Okay, thank you.
So here's the thing. Owen and I found the deleted pieces of music way back in the day
right.
from Danny Elfman's score of Nacho Libre, and we had set out on a quest to resync the tracks with the movie.
Yeah.
So we could watch the Danny Elfman score cut of Nacho Libre.
Or as some would say, the less good.
I mean, the studio certainly would.
Someone said it. I'm not saying that I agree with it.
I know, you're right. The one that didn't make it. The end game of this discussion is that we ended up Owen meticulously put Elfman's score back into Nacho Libre, and it took him like a week or two to do it. He certainly was doing two men's work.
There's a lot of places.
He was doing work for 1 hour of enjoyment.
A lot of places affected by hurricanes and stuff, but rest assured, Owen's here.
Owen's putting the deleted Elfman score back into Nacho Libre.
One step at a time, guys.
Owen's piecing the country back together again, starting with...
All right, first order of business. Where's my CD player? So we watched it. We watched it last night, and I didn't remember the movie enough to know the difference, so it didn't really matter. But but I enjoyed the movie so much, and I forgot how much I love the movie. But I just forgot how fucking amazing that movie is, Mike.
Holy
It's so
shit.
good. It's so good.
That wasn't... I'm trying to figure out if that was a worthwhile conversation.
Oh, certainly not. And honestly, none of the things we've ever spoken about on this show have been worth it.
I don't know if none of them have been. What about the time we talked about that kid shitting his pants? What if
The Beatles thing?
all the Beatles dressed like Beetlejuice?
And they called themselves Beatles Juice?
They call themselves the Beatles, the Beatles, the Beatles.
The Beatles Juice, Beatles Juice, Beatles Juice.
If you say our name 3 times, we'll toll your city.
Mike, I don't want your comedy stand-up scraps on my podcast, on our podcast.
So that one's gone. All I was going to say about Beetlejuice was that movie, I was watching it the other night, and it could have very easily been upwards of 3 hours, and it would have been fine.
Oh, yeah.
There's so much that I I don't know if I just hadn't seen it in a long time because it used to be one of my favorite movies. I used to have it taped off of HBO.
Sure.
I think it was the first time I ever heard somebody say the F word that I remember. And so I'm not good with it. So I watched it so many times that I hadn't watched it for years. And then I was watching it and they don't, the Dietzes die and then they're just dead.
Forever.
And then they understand that they're dead instantly.
Yeah, and they just accept it.
There should have been like a week of them trying to figure out what the fuck was going on. They find the handbook. There should have been another week where they're just trying to figure out the handbook. Like, I would have been fine with Beetlejuice the movie being like 4 hours long.
Me too.
Any backstory on Beetlejuice whatsoever that isn't just like a story of that with that chimney woman.
Well, it's a good thing we're getting a sequel.
No, we're not.
Yes, we are.
Is that real?
Yeah, and I hate it.
Yeah, but is it gonna be like?
It's going to be old Michael Keaton. It's going, nice fucking model.
I'm fine with that.
Don't forget to say the B word. I've been to Saturn. Have you been to Saturn?
Sandworms. I hate them.
Hey, there goes Elvis.
That's him walking away. Old people fart for so long when they walk.
Remember that scene in the new one when he goes back to the brothel and he's like dancing and he's like, oh, yeah. This is what the dancing sounds like.
Yes, baby.
Ooh, baby, baby. Oh, yeah.
What is it? Dante's Inferno room?
Dante's Inferno room.
Holy shit.
It's a goddamn class. That should be the biggest Oscar-winning film of the life.
Dude, what is the sequel about?
I don't know. We don't know. Nobody knows. But
why is it
Winona
wrong if
Ryder's
Michael
real excited.
Keaton's in it?
Michael Keaton's in it.
He should be.
He is.
The older he looks, the more believable he is as a dead guy.
Yeah, he's close.
I don't know if you knew this. The older you look, the closer you are to being a dead guy.
I'm so proud of you, Mike.
That was a good one. I learned it from watching you.
Thank you very much. I love Beetlejuice.
Don't say it again. Oh my god.
Did you know there's a dead man in that movie? There's 2 dead men in that movie that are now dead. Yeah, tell me another story, Mike.
On Monday. Yes, okay. Monday.
Which was 4 days ago.
Yep. I was working on jokes with a friend of mine. His name is Jesus Trejo.
Oh, he's a funny boy.
He's a very funny boy. He was just on the James Corden show.
Holy shit. Yeah.
Doing
that deserves a push out.
Let's push one out for Jesus. So he was just doing stand-up on there, and obviously he's a regular at the Comedy Store and stuff like that, and he's always helping us because he's a very nice guy. He's a very genuine, very nice person.
Isn't he a headliner at Joey's Sock Boy Bar? The Laugh Yucks? The Yuck Yuck Room?
Joey's Laughing Sock Factory.
Joey's Socks Factory.
Tuesdays on socks.
Tuesdays here at Joey's Silly Sock Factory.
Would you take anyone seriously?
Excuse me, Mike. Sorry about that.
So we were working on jokes at the Coffee Bean on Sunset.
Right, in the coffee factory.
fancy.
What, you don't, just because I feel,
Stick to the script.
just because I feel comfortable enough to flourish,
Is that what that was?
you think I can't add a flourish?
I can't believe you interrupted my story for that.
So you're writing some jokes, yucks with Hey Hoos. Trey.
So far, so good. So we were there.
Right.
Never going to believe this.
Okay.
Young lady walks in. Right?
Okay.
Top knot, but long blonde hair swirling out of the
It's
top
got a man
knot.
bun, but a woman's man bun. A woman bun.
Must have stolen bun from a man. Put it onto her woman head.
Uh-huh.
So she orders her coffee with a friend.
Right.
Bubbly friend.
She's having a good time.
She's having a great time. She's smiling from what I could see out of my periph. She walks over to where you pick up the drinks, and there's a chatter among the employees at the Coffee Bean. And they say,
Okay.
well, just my friend thinks you look like Ariana Grande. And she says, I get that all the time. And the situation is diminished after that. Then they get their drinks. They maybe take a selfie in the Coffee Bean.
Okay.
And they're walking out. And then as they're about to be 2 feet out the door, one of the people from the back says, idiot, that is Ariana Grande.
No
That's
fucking
Ariana
way.
Grande. And then on the way out, they're like joking. And they're yelling back and forth. Ariana Grande lays a shoulder into me. And then they left.
Like she pushed you?
But not like she was looking the other way and she
Oh,
walked
and she
into me.
bumped into you.
Yeah. So basically, this is my announcement that I have made it.
Well, did you check your bank account after she bumped into you? Because sometimes
Not yet,
if
but
you
I
bump
think
into a celebrity, some of their coins make their way into your account.
I'm almost positive that when she bumped into me, a bunch of rings fell out. A bunch of gold rings.
And coins?
And she kind of blinked a bunch of times and fell backwards in slow motion. And then I picked up a lot of the rings.
Well, guys, let me tell you a little bit about what I like to call...
Somebody hire the spin doctors to play while you're doing that.
Little miss, get me on it. I said, if you want to buy me undies, just go ahead now. And if you want the softest cotton on the earth, just go ahead now. Soft fabric is 3 times softer than cotton. So go ahead now. Just go ahead now.
Can we make this lower? Can we make the Friends theme song lower? Okay, good.
Did you say the Friends theme?
It's not that much better. Gonna be this way.
Me undies feels so good and under your butt.
It's got a point.
I was sitting in a pair of me undies earlier today on the Nerdist set. And I thought about showing everybody on the live stream. You got me. You got me, Mike. Now I know what it feels like when I honk the horn sometimes
Right?
and you're not ready for it. Look at this.
Gonna have to tune into the video podcast.
Feel free to
for that.
improvise. With tons of styles and patterns to choose from for both men and ladies, MeUndies will have the perfect fit for any personality. If you're a piece of shit, you're gonna love MeUndies. If you're a nice man, if you're funny, you're gonna love MeUndies. If you're a quiet dad, you're gonna love MeUndies. If you're a daughter, if you're someone's uncle's niece, if someone found your grandpa, ma'am, don't worry, we found your dad.
I would go as far as to say this underwear is perfect if someone just found your grandpa.
If there's someone in your family who just found your grandpa, buy them a pair of MeUndies. You can get 20% off the best and softest underwear and socks. MeUndies make socks. Because if you don't like underwear, and it's fine you don't like wearing underwear,
Wear socks. They're underwear for your feet.
take 20% off the best and softest underwear and socks you will ever own free shipping, and 100% satisfaction guarantee. Go to MeUndies.com/banter. That's MeUndies.com/banter. Hope you find your grandpa.
What a weird tagline for that company to have.
Hope you find your grandpa. Mike,
we have a show that a lot of people listen to.
have you heard? Mike, let me ask you this really, just pretty quick. Let me ask you this for the required amount of time.
I can't wait to answer this question.
Have you heard of
What?
Squarespace?
I have. I use it myself, Steve, to power MikeFalzone.com.
That's good to hear, because if you check out Squarespace.com for a free trial when you're ready to launch, you can use that offer code NAME to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain.
Why don't you run that offer code by me one moment?
It says here name, but it's definitely Banter.
That's our name.
Banter is our name.
Like
You want to turn your cool idea into a website? You want to show your dad how good you are at making an internet? Are you ready to be proud of yourself and being able to hit publish on a computer? Do you want to sell a product on your own without daddy helping?
Yes or no?
Well, then go. Don't worry about it. Do you got a special project coming up? Are you doing something dumb that only your family gives a shit about? You can make a Squarespace website and invite your. Excuse me, sir. You can get a Squarespace website and invite your whole family using a dumb. Well, using a great template, but you can get your dumb family to go.
Your idea is dumb, but the website's gonna look
great. The website's smart. And you get beautiful templates, so it looks like you went to school. There's powerful e-commerce functionality that lets you sell anything online. You don't have to sell it in the streets to your friends. You stop selling your coins to your pals because you say it's before 1990 and pennies before 1990 are worth $1 each.
I've been burned. Who hasn't?
We've all been there.
Paying dollars for pennies.
The ability to customize look, feel, settings, smell, products.
It conforms right to mobile.
If your finger's strong enough to click a button, then you should check out Squarespace. Make it. Make it yourself for once. I know you're listening to this right now and you haven't done shit. Make a website. Other copy lines. Ready to start your new business? Make it stand out. Get started with Squarespace. Think it, dream it, make it with Squarespace. Don't forget to use the offer code BANTER at squarespace.com. Brian.
Right now, I hope someone named Brian is freaking out. Oh no.
Do me a favor, Mike. At one of your next stand-up shows, do that. At the end of one of your jokes, don't have this not talk to anyone in the audience yet. Just at the end of one of your punchlines, go like, "Am I right, Brian?" And you go, "Brian knows."
Brian, you get it.
Brian gets it.
Holy shit, man. Also, I'd like to remind you that you can go to MikeFalzone.com, a website sponsored by and powered by Squarespace. And you can click on the Dynamic Banter button to get Dynamic Banter t-shirts or these cool fucking enamel pin sets that we have. And I think our white t-shirts are totally sold out, but we still got some more of the black ones and turquoise ones.
Pardon.
You see that if you're watching the video, there's Steve's wearing a shirt, okay, and you see they're doing what they can. The Frankenstein head, we have a shirt that is that color.
Oh,
that is a Dynamic Banter shirt. So you get to have that if you want it.
That's really fun. That's really fun to listen to.
Dude, I know for a fact because people have been emailing me that they just started listening to this show. For whatever reason, it took us this long.
What do you mean they just started?
No, a lot of people are starting to turn their friends on to this show for whatever reason.
Oh, okay.
And so I'm getting a lot of just started listening to your podcast and how confused.
Oh, because, yeah, dude, it's so different.
What's a mess?
I mean, I did see a tweet or something from someone. I can't remember where I saw it, but they were like...
Probably on Twitter.
It might have been on Twitter. I don't know. It might have been a Reddit thing, too. But basically someone was like, I used to listen to the podcast, and then Steve got all his toys and won't shut up now.
What the hell did we do beforehand? There's another one of Steve's
mean,
toys, the dog.
I guess we didn't have toys before.
History robes?
Yeah, why not? I think it's time.
You know what I just realized? You could also make a wet fart with this thing. A little bit of moisture on the old hand.
History. History.
How are you possibly out of breath from listening to a song?
That bass line runs me down. It gets me going, Mike.
Bass is having a walkathon.
That bass line makes my brain do a runaround. Dude, did you know?
Let's go Google it.
Did you know that the top of your brain is responsible for where your dancing comes from?
No, is that right?
So if you poke a baby's soft spot too hard, they won't be able to learn how to dance.
Why do the break dancers still know how to do it? Because they spin atop their
Because
heads.
by then the top of their head is protected. This history road comes to us from Mamong Sama. And it says, haha, dear haha boys.
That's us.
Hope you're doing well. My name is Yusuf, and I'm from Cairo, Egypt. I have been listening to your podcast ever since the Cloverfields, and I can't thank you guys enough for the amount of laughs and giggles that you've brought to my plain regular days.
Thank you for listening all the way from Egypt.
Here's a history road for you guys and the audience. Hope you enjoy. First encounter. One day, me and my sister was watching movies together at my place. Sorry, I added that. And we came along some pretty sweet-ass movie suggestions on Reddit, r/movies. We watched Blade Runner, The Fifth Element, and Alien. After watching the movies, my sister decided that it was a good idea that she would get home before it was too late, to which I agreed. That's a sweet night, though. 3 movies in a row. God bless you.
What an exhausting evening.
I'd love it. As the good brother, I helped her walk to her car in the garage and left her to drive home safely. I went back to my apartment, and
Sounds like an Unsolved Mysteries episode right now.
I went back to my apartment, and that's when I got the first red flag. When I'd gone out, I had shut off my TV. But when I came back, it was on. And so I told myself, nah, it must have been a technical thing, and just shut it off. I then went to take
Thank you guys so much. What if that was it?
Thanks. Thank you for reading my email. Love the show. I then went to take a shower before bed like a good boy would, and whilst my shower time, right after I had placed the shampoo over my head, the lights went out. I had my eyes shut, and after scrubbing the shampoo off, I opened my eyes, and that's when everything was pitch black. The first idea came to my head is that I'd gone blind. But then I realized that it was just a power outage. I then proceeded to find my phone to light the bathroom. Then, the worst shit started to happen, where the scary movie shit started to mess with my head. As my heartbeat started to race and I started to panic more and more, the worst thing possible happened. And that was... Thank you for the live radio moment, Mike. And that was my crazy neighbor whose apartment door is right in front of mine started knocking hysterically as if he was trying to run away from something. At that moment, my little stomach boy couldn't handle it anymore. I sat my ass on the toilet just for safety and kept listening to Don't Worry, Be Happy by Bobby McFerrin. Mike, you want to do a little bit of it? I'll help you out.
Here's a little song I wrote about being
Singing
happy.
Lord for it.
Be
Be
happy.
happy. Can you do that, Mike? Do you know that part? Do it for me. Don't worry. Be happy. Keep it going. Don't worry, be happy now.
Little off. Little flat.
Until the power outage was fixed. Once the lights came back, I quickly washed my head and finished showering, then went to calm myself down by watching some good Ghibli movies. After I had calmed myself down, I decided it was okay to go to sleep. And after a good 1 to 2 hours, my wall starts to make the most loud noises you'd think of, like you'd think someone was stuck in between the walls or something. I, at that moment, stood up in bed. And just glared at the wall. I quickly called my good friend Joe at 3 a.m. and explained to him the situation. He then picked me up from my house.
What is the situation?
And I slept at his
Joe,
place.
You're not going to believe this. None of the lights are on.
I slept at his house for the night. We later found out that a lady had burned herself in this particular apartment years ago. And that's when I realized it was time to move to a new place. I hope this gave you the Leel Spooks. Sincerely, Yosef.
Leel Spooks. I went to the doctor for having Leel Spooks once.
Reminds me.
What?
Oh, shit.
What's wrong with you? Oh, shit.
Guys,
Yeah, this one's my fault.
we bungled it. Why don't they listen to our show anymore, Mike? It turns out we made a bungle. Michael said there were 35 letters of the alphabet. How
And
many,
as luck would have it, there are, if you give me a second, I could figure it out. A, 1. B, 2. C, 3. D, 4.